afternoon. Welcome to another BW Education Business World webinar. And today we have a very special guest that we will talk to. We have Dr. Singla, who to an audience that we have today doesn't need an introduction. He's the Minister of Education for the Government of Punjab. He's also the Minister for PWD. He's been a Member of Parliament. Now he is a Minister in the Punjab government. And most importantly, in COVID times, he's been bringing hope to people in the state of Punjab. Welcome, Mr. Singla, to this PW Education Dialogue. We're delighted that you could join us. Tell us how it's been the last 60 days for you. I know you've been very active as a public figure, helping people in your constituencies, making sure your government's schemes are coordinated, and Punjab has the highest recovery rate in the country. So I know you've been very busy, but we'd like to hear from you, sir.
Thank you very much for being a part of this webinar. And as you know, this is a difficult time for all of us, and everybody in their own ways was trying to fight out the coronavirus. And we were all trying to take up the precautions, and we were all trying to, side by side, do our responsibilities to the best of our abilities and to the best of the situations available, because nobody was actually prepared for this kind of situation to happen in our country. So I think as far as Punjab is concerned, my Honorable Chief Minister took a lead, imposed curfew. We were able to, perform better in our state as compared to other states, and we pray to God that other states should also perform like Punjab. And we, India as a country as a whole, we should be able to, get rid of this coronavirus as early as possible. But I think the Punjab government took very good initiatives, and I think that was the only reason that we were able to, control the coronavirus up till now, and we intend to do so in the days to come as well. Our responsibility as a government, our responsibility, each one of us as a social, for the social sector, I think we all were able to contribute. And suppose I had an X amount of resource, or you had a Y amount of resource, and the audience had a Z amount of resource, everybody tried to contribute to society. And so I think the same thing we also did. And subsequently, looking at from the point from the perspective of my responsibility in this government as the PWD minister and as the education minister, challenges are there. We all know the challenges are there. But yes, one beautiful program we were able to start, which ultimately, because of the participation of youngsters from across the state of Punjab, from the borders, from the rural area, from the urban areas, from the private schools, from the government schools, everybody participated, contributed, uploaded 106,000 videos about their talent, how they could, take out themselves from this negativity of the pandemic situation or this corona situation, and how they view, how they think that this could be, how they can convert it into a positivity thing. I think this Ambassadors of Hope program, which we tried to launch it as an online competition campaign across the state of Punjab, proved out to be a very, very successful campaign, because we were able to identify the potential of younger people across the state. And I think this was a very alarming, during this alarming situation, we were able to, take out that potential of the youngsters to the forefront. And in the days to come, as we starts announcing the results from today, I think there will be a pool of around 1,100 students across the state of Punjab who will finally lead the state in the times to come, whether it is in their professional sectors, whether it is in their social sectors, whether it is about analyzing or visualizing a situation. I think they will be the forefront people, or they will be the future leaders in their respective fields as far as Punjab is concerned. So I feel very satisfied that as an education minister, I was able to perform my duty towards the youngsters of Punjab, who are the future of our country.
Fantastic. I want to tell our viewers that apart from having Shri Vijayendra Singh Singla ji, who's the Education and PWD Minister of Punjab. We also have Mr. Vinesh Menon, who's the CEO for Education and Skilling of the Ampersand Group. The minister just referred to the millennials, to the young people in Punjab who could be catalysts in understanding the problem and coming up with solutions. And it's a time for collaboration. The Ambassadors of Hope is a collaborative initiative.
Yeah.
The Ampersand Group idea, but entirely executed and adopted by the minister as his own, and to make a positive change. Mr. Singla, as we go along, Ambassador,
Batraji, sorry, it is actually the ideas from the minister himself.
Okay.
This is actually the minister's initiative. We in fact saw it as
Thank you for correcting me on
initiative, and we just
Thank
was
you.
part of it.
Minister, we already started getting questions, and I'll take them as they come along because they are from possibly people from Punjab and they're specific questions. But this started in COVID time. But tell us, with what you've seen in terms of impact from the Ambassadors of Hope, how can it be taken forward in post-COVID times? Hopefully in next 30, 60 days, COVID will start receding. We'll start moving towards normal. How do you think it can be extrapolated?
See, one thing is very clear from this participation, that as Punjab has always been in the front line whenever the country needed, whether it was, if you talk of the food bowl of India, whether you talk of the people who sacrificed their lives when India was, getting partitioned and we had the wars going on. So every time when it came to people sacrificing their lives, so every time India stood in the forefront and subsequently Punjab stood in the forefront. So I think in this COVID-19 situation, when this program was launched or when this online competition was launched for the youngsters, teachers got involved, parents got involved, everybody got involved because the lockdown 3 had started. And people were in their respective houses. They have started feeling bored after playing Ludo, after playing all such games which we had stopped playing from many years, or started cooking or got bored from doing cooking and eating. Ultimately, it was an initiative in which everybody got involved. And I'm very thankful to all the youngsters who actually came up with the support of their parents and their teachers and their school managements, that they participated in this. And as you asked me a question about how do you look forward in the next 60 days about this Ambassadors of Hope program, as I just now concluded in my previous remark, I said that these people will be the future of our state and their contributions in their respective fields. Because हर आदमी के जो मन का पोटेंशियल होता है, किसी भी बच्चे के अंदर जो पोटेंशियल होता है, वो किसी ना किसी दिख के माध्यम से बाहर निकल आता है.
उजागर हो जाता है.
This was an opportunity for them to be a part of this change, and in the days to come you will see that they will be the agents of change. They will be known as agents of the change.
Recipients also.
Yeah, recipients also.
Recipients.
And moreover, all the viewers, like this program has been viewed by, I think, 2.5 crore people were on the social media of different platforms viewing all this. So I think these people, whatever these youngsters have done, that will impact on the minds of those people who are looking at the kind of videos these people have uploaded. So I think this is going to make a very, very, very big impact across the country and across the potentials, identifying the potentials of the youngsters.
Fantastic. Minister, let me go back a little back in time. When you were an MP, your father was also a prominent politician, serviced, and the people of Punjab for a long time. You're known to be a very dynamic, if I may use a Hindi term, karmat or kaam karne wale. When right from starting trains and making people happy with the services, or making sure in Barnala the Sports Association of India track was built, representing India in the UN Security Council and speaking on Punjab. You contributed in a real way. So you have the experience and the skills to be able to visualize new things, to be able to visualize it. Now, you also, food is a big issue in COVID. food security. I'm diverting a little bit from education. I'll come back.
Yeah.
Food security is a big issue, and Punjab has a excess of food grains, which can be a lifeline to the country. And your chief minister has spoken extensively about it. How if these food grains are transported rather than they going waste, they can really solve a big problem, because a lot of people are going. Tell us a little bit about that. I know you in your position as part of many committees have tackled with this issue. But give us how food security is very important. What is the role Punjab government and the stocks that the Punjab government has can be of value to the entire country?
I think the COVID-19 period has actually shown the entire country that Punjab stood up in the food, as far as the food bowl is concerned, whether it was regarding the transportation of the existing stocks to different states, whether it was, I think it was a record this time that we were able to send train rake loads to different states as far as food grain is concerned, because we were getting our new produce also, and our government has done an exemplary work. Despite the COVID situation, we were able to lift up each and every grain which was brought to the purchase centers by the farmers. The farmers did a brilliant job. The people who were harvesting the crop, they did a brilliant job. The food grain agencies, those who were buying the crop, they did a brilliant job. How it was to be transported, how the laborer was to fill it up into the bags and weigh it, that was done brilliantly. And then same way it was transported very well into the safe location, so that they should not get the heat of the rainfall or any kind of unnatural calamity. So my only point is that this COVID also tried to make us learn effectively how we could save the food bowl for food grain, which is meant for the entire countries, for the entire country, and we were able to actually show it that कि हम इसको कर सकते हैं. तो पंजाबी के अंदर, जैसे मैंने आपसे पहले भी कहा कि पंजाब के लोगों के अंदर जब भी कभी खतरे की घंटी कहीं पर बजी है, तो पंजाब ने हमेशा आगे खड़े होकर उसका सामना किया है, मजबूती से उस लड़ाई को जीतने की बात की है, और हमेशा जीतकर पंजाब का पंजाबी निकलकर बाहर आया है.
एंड सिंगला साहब, मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि इतने लोग इतने स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन बोल रहे हैं, और 10-12 लोग ये पूछ रहे हैं कि रिजल्ट्स कब आएंगे एम्बेसडर्स ऑफ होप के. So the level of enthusiasm it has generated, I'm just seeing on my right, the reason I keep seeing is that every 3 seconds something is popping up, and then there is questions popping up in the Q&A. So it's that I mean that shows that there's been unprecedented response. So that's if it creates hope.
जो सारे सवाल आ रहे हैं, सबसे ज्यादा जो सवाल आपने मुझे पूछा कि वो बहुत आ रहा है, और मुझे भी पता है, क्योंकि मैंने सोचा नहीं था कभी कि इतने लोग इस कैंपेन के अंदर पार्टिसिपेट कर देंगे. और हमारे सिस्टम्स भी सारे एक वक्त पे क्रैश होने शुरू हो गए थे, बिकॉज वी वर नॉट कॉम्पिटेंट टू हैंडल सो मेनी ईमेल्स हैपनिंग. और हर व्यक्ति की थॉट होती है कि वो लास्ट डे में अपलोड करे. तो मैं अभी सारे आपके जो लोग सवाल पूछ रहे हैं कि रिजल्ट्स कब आएंगे, उनको कहना चाहता हूं कि आपके इतने सुंदर सुंदर वीडियोस आप लोगों ने बनाए, आप लोगों ने अपलोड किए, आपने मेहनत की, इतने सुंदर सुंदर पंजाब के विरसे के बारे में आपने उस वीडियोस के माध्यम से लोड किया. बच्चों ने पोएम्स लोड की, बच्चों ने स्किट्स लोड की, गांव के बच्चों ने, शहर के बच्चों ने, बॉर्डर के बच्चों ने बहुत अच्छा अपलोड किया, और 1,06,000 वीडियोस आ गए. अभी तक मैं और मेरी टीम केवल 80,000 देख पाए हैं. मुझे पता है कि इन लोगों के मन की जो भावना है वो मैं समझता हूं, पर मेरा एक वायदा इनके साथ है कि हर रिजल्ट ईमानदारी से आएगा. हर बच्चे की जो वीडियो क्रेडिबल है, केवल उसी को इनाम मिलेगा. पहले हमने केवल 66 प्राइजेस देने का फैसला किया था कि हर जिले में 3 देंगे. पहले मेरा मन हुआ कि इतने अच्छे वीडियोस आ रहे हैं, कैसे चूज करूंगा, तो हमने 100 कंसोलेशन प्राइज अनाउंस किए, फिर 200 किए, फिर 500 किए, अब हमने 1000 कंसोलेशन किए. और मैं सभी व्यूअर्स को कहना चाहता हूं, सारे व्यूअर्स को कहना चाहता हूं कि 100 कंसोलेशन जो पहले हैं, उनका रिजल्ट हम आज शाम से पहले अनाउंस कर देंगे, और कल को फिर दूसरे 100 का करेंगे. इसी प्रकार से अगले 10 दिन 100 कर 1000 कंसोलेशन प्राइजेस अनाउंस करेंगे. और आज के 11वें दिन के बाद हम हर जिले के जो 3 बच्चे फर्स्ट, सेकंड, थर्ड हैं, उनको अनाउंस करेंगे, ताकि हम इस कड़ी को अगले 20-25 दिन के अंदर पूरा भी कर सकें और हर वीडियो को खुद देख सकूं, उसके अंदर कोई कमी ना रह जाए, क्योंकि लोगों ने अपना विश्वास मेरे अंदर प्रकट किया है और मेरे कहने पर इसके अंदर हिस्सा लिया है, भाग लिया है. तो ये लुकिंग एट दैट और सेइंग दैट, आई वुड लाइक टू अश्योर ईच एंड एवरी पार्टिसिपेंट दैट उनको आज से उनके पार्टिसिपेशन एप्रिसिएशन सर्टिफिकेट्स इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली भेजने हमने शुरू कर दिए हैं. उसका वीडियो मैंने कल डाला था. ये लोग अप्लाई कर सकते हैं ताकि इनका सर्टिफिकेट आ सके, और सर्टिफिकेट के साथ साथ बाकी इनके कंसोलेशन प्राइजेस हम आज से अनाउंस करेंगे. मकसद एक है, मैं चाहता था मैं हर जिले में जाकर हर बच्चे को खुद सर्टिफिकेट दूं, पर मैं समझता हूँ ये कोरोना की महामारी के कारण, because of this COVID-19 situation, it is becoming difficult for me to travel to each and every district and give the certificate. तो अभी मेरा यही कहना है कि सब बच्चों की, और ये जो बच्चे निकल कर आएंगे ये 1200 बच्चे, आई एम ऑल्सो डिजाइनिंग अ प्रोग्राम फॉर देम, ताकि इनके जो लर्निंग स्किल्स हैं, इनका क्या पोटेंशियल है, क्या इनका थॉट प्रोसेस है, उस चीज को हम आने वाले वक्त में कर सके, और ताकि इनका पोटेंशियल राइट डायरेक्शन में डिटरमिन हो सके. और ये बच्चे जो करना चाहते हैं, whatever these children want to do, I would like, it's my thought that I would try and find a way out, or try and help them find a way out to achieve their targets in the lives.
Thank you, Singla. You answered a lot of those questions.
In fact, Dr.
I want to come at this point, Vinesh, I just want to bring him on. See, you're a very young politician. You're barely 48, okay? On 1st December, you'll be 49, right? Your 1st December born. So you're very young.
आपने तो सर मेरी उम्र ही बता दी सबको सर. अभी तक तो मजाक में कह रहा हूँ आपसे.
मजाक कर रहे हो, मखौल कर रहे हो मेरे नाल. But I genuinely mean it that you're very young. You contributed it very early. So what is your vision for Punjab? I'm sure over the next 20, 30 years, 10 years, you have a vision for Punjab. Right now you're in the education domain, in the PW domain, and available to your Chief Minister to serve in whatever. But what's your vision for Punjab? Because the people of Punjab are hardworking, they're honest, and they have a feeling of community. Baradari di उन्हां दी एक भावना हैगी कि औरों दे वास्ते कुछ और करना है. So what is it that your vision for Punjab?
Sir, actually I derive a lot of things from my Chief Minister. Before that I used to always look up to my father. Going beyond that, when I got a chance to represent Sangrur Parliament in the Lok Sabha in 2009 to 2014, 5 years. First of all, I am very thankful to the people of Sangrur, those who reposed their faith in me. They gave the responsibility on my shoulders to raise their voice in the Lok Sabha. The biggest satisfying factor in my mind today is Punjab, especially the Malwa region of Punjab, had the highest incidence of cancer. So I was able to bring a cancer institute of the Tatas from Bombay. Now that Tata Cancer Institute today, which is fully functional, caters to the cancer treatment, and the treatment cost in the Sangrur Cancer Hospital is the lowest in our country, because it is declared as a rural hospital. The cost of chemotherapy, which may be 1 lakh rupees in other hospitals, is only 16,000 rupees here. Tata's is giving a discount of approximately 70% to people who are coming and getting themselves treated for cancer. So this is one of the biggest satisfying factor. Other thing was that I was able to get a PGI hospital. Now PGI was set up in Chandigarh, the first hospital, and the second hospital after Chandigarh, from the time our country got independence, was in Sangrur. So that is about to get functional, which was a project of approximately 500 crores. Why I'm sharing this with you? The whole idea is that we need to focus on what Punjab needs and how to get it. There is ample money, whether it's the state government or it's the government of India. The idea is how you can merge projects, how you can look at the money allocated under the various budget heads of the government of India budget, because some things come under the concurrent list, some things come under the state list, and some things come under the central list. Like education for sake is in the a concurrent list that states can also look at, central can also look at. So once you have this, then you have to identify the projects under which you should take the money, because you have to pull in 40% of the money. 60% of the money is coming from the government of India. So we need to understand the sectors of what Punjab needs, and then see what money is being allocated or budgeted in the central government budget, and what is the much money you have to get budgeted in the state budget, and then you merge both the monies and you are able to achieve a project. So the idea is that there are so many things which we still need to do in Punjab. COVID has taught us all so many things, because when we were free, we got rejuvenated, our minds got free, we were able to understand the problems. We understand there is a lot of health infrastructure which needs to be upgraded in Punjab. We know that still school education, maybe the government schools need a lot of upliftment, though we have in the past been able to convert 6,000 schools into smart schools or super smart schools out of the 19,000 schools we have in the entire state of Punjab, and we have a plan to convert approximately 1,000 more schools in the current year as smart schools. So every day we want to contribute all these three sectors, especially, which are very closely connected to each one's life, whether it is the road connectivity, or it is the health sector, or it is the education sector. So keeping prime focus on these three sectors would be my priority in the times to come, and this is the priority of my chief minister as well. Now, one such example is when from the time the state government, the Congress party formed the government in Punjab in 2017, there was a mandatory requirement from under the RTE, that's the right to education, that we should have pre-primary classes. I'm happy to share that Punjab was the first state to start the primary classes initiative, and today we cater to approximately 2 lakhs and more children under the pre-primary class segment. So my chief minister's vision is also very clear, and is very closely education is very closely associated to his heart as well. So I think education, health sector, infrastructure sector, till the time we have road connectivity. And I must tell you, Dr. Badwe, who is the director of Tata's, when I first went to meet him for a national cancer grid hospital for Sangrur, he spoke about the social life of a doctor. Rather, I actually fought with him. I said, Doctor, you're talking about a social life of a doctor, and I'm talking about the people who are, dying of cancer. So he said, sir, why I'm talking this is, if there is no social life of my doctor, he will not stay there. So actually, with that conversation, I learned so many things from Dr. Badwe, who is now the director of the Tata Hospital in Bombay. So it is up to you whether, if you have the intention to learn, you can learn from a small conversation. Like I'll be learning so many things from this webinar today, which BW is conducting, or you are at the helm of the affairs, or we have some other people. So the whole idea, there's so many things to be done in Punjab. We need to focus on the key sectors, first upgrade those sectors, and then we can move forward.
Now coming specifically to education, sir, specifically to education.
I lost you.
I'm saying specifically coming to the education. Now, how do you see, what are the changes? You referred to how the government schools have been made, smart schools. One of the concerns that is coming is, I hope we do not create haves and have-nots in education. Digital divide now, how does the government as an enabler of education make sure that and second is, like this initiative of Ambassadors of Hope is a collaboration between a private player and government saying, why don't you help us with it? What are the possibilities you see in terms of public-private partnership in education and, dare I say, skilling? Because education is, K-12 skilling is a little broader, because COVID will result into loss of jobs. Let's be very clear in some sectors at the. So how do you create skilling so that those jobs can be replenished? So I would like to get your comments and then also bring Vinesh on the possibilities of partnership.
So Vinesh would like to comment first, or should I start?
First, sir. You.
As far as we are looking from the COVID perspective, and we are looking at some kind of skilling or private partnership, we already have a model in Punjab that is called the Other School model, where we have 30% partnership from private people, where the infrastructure which was created by the state government was given to private people with 70-30 ratio to run these schools. Initially, that did not prove to be a very, very good idea, because some private organizations who took over these schools tried to play foul by giving salary to the teachers by way of a check, and then returning it back by way of a cash. But slowly, we also understood these kind of gimmicks being played by some institutions. So we also changed the allocation or the bidding criteria, and we also try to bring in larger players, larger players who have good credibility in the education field, so that they should come forward and be a part of the Punjab government in imparting good level of education. So as you said, Punjab government is already open to this idea of private people coming into these kind of education system, so that they can become a part of it and they can impart better education for youngsters. As far as digital education is concerned, post COVID-19 situation is concerned, as you spoke about, many people are going to lose jobs is concerned. If I look at it, yes, that is going to happen, and we all have to live with it. But medium of study will also change. More digital platforms will come into play. We'll all have to get equipped ourselves. See, now everybody has started giving online education with the limited resources they already had, because nobody knew that COVID is going to come. So everybody started giving whatever they had, and everybody is trying to equip themselves more better, so that this education system, no child should suffer. And the same thing we are doing. Whether it is nobody thought that we'll have to ever study on a telephone, or we'll have to ever listen to the lectures on a radio and we'll have to study, or people never thought that we could use TV as a mechanism of one of the mediums to impart education. So we as a Punjab government, whether it is the data is concerned, whether the making of the e-content is concerned, first you have to have a good e-content, then you have to have platforms to run that e-content. There are challenges. Like if I have to start digital education, online classes, and I cannot do it without TV, and I cannot hire all the TV channels. No state government can hire all the TV channels, because if you have to impart education from class 1 to 12, and if you have to teach for 6 hours, so how, if you multiply how many channels or how many number of hours you need on a TV channel to actually impart education to even the remotest area in the far-flung area or into the remotest area. So we have also raised it up with the Government of India, Ministry of Communication and IT, that they should also come forward, because today the Disaster Management Act is enforced. They should come forward. They should tell these private channels to give at least 2 to 3 channels for 6 hours free of cost to respective state governments. Not only me, other state education ministers from other states also raised up with the HRD Minister, Government of India. I raised it up with Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad also, because I happen to have one VC with him also on how the Government of India can help on this. So I think this is a common problem in all the states, where somewhere 65% accessibility is there, or 65 to 70% people are able to as of now are able to communicate through online digital platforms, and still some states are able to do it 80%, and some states have not been able to achieve even 70%. So there is a challenge in every state, and there's a common demand which was raised, and I'm sure that the Government of India will act and will come forward in order to help the states in providing them online free channels, because as far as web channels are concerned, we are already using WhatsApp platforms are concerned, so other social media platforms are concerned, we are already doing radio, we have already done whatever channels we could buy from Doordarshan, we have already bought, we have already started. But whatever is left, I'm quite sure the Government of India will also will come forward and speak to the private channels, private TV channels, because under the Disaster Management Act, the Government of India can force upon these private channels also to come and give some kind of free channels free of cost to the states, so that education of children in respective states should not get hampered.
Fantastic. And Vinesh, the minister referred to how collaboration can work. Tell us, do you see partnership possibilities post-COVID times? And if yes, what could those be, especially in the areas of skilling?
Yeah, so I definitely see that. But before I move on to that, I must take a minute and at least compliment Honorable Minister on the Ambassadors of Hope initiative. What I most like about that initiative sir, is that one, when the COVID struck us, everybody was getting, they were all discussing and everybody was all worried about how the adults will go through this COVID period. And somewhere the kids and the children were restricted to pure, the only topic was online learning. And like the Honorable Minister said, some games, Ludo, etc. But nobody really bothered about their mental status and how they will be able to cope up sitting in four walls of a house and seeing the parents constantly watch TV and seeing the news of COVID. And that would have had a strain on them. So the initiative to suddenly make them start thinking creatively and say कि मुझे कुछ करना है to show hope, I think was a brilliant initiative. And almost 30 to 35 to 40 days, entire Punjab and the children of Punjab were only thinking कि क्या करूँ मैं to make it, to make myself feel heard. And I think that took away 35-40 days of COVID period just like that. And I think that is one fantastic outcome that happened. And the second,
I mean, the comments and questions are not even what he's saying. We're getting comments on that. This is unprecedented. So that shows the enthusiasm. Possibly this can be a case study for other states, maybe for the central government, and how
I certainly think so.
Enthuse, engage in something that will have an impact beyond COVID. So I think
I certainly think so, Dr. Batra. And the second point, what I genuinely enjoyed is the parity that he brought between government and private schools. You see, people typically don't look at this. We've noticed mostly that government schools go in their own silos, private schools go in their own silos. Yahan both of them were brought onto a common platform. And Singlaji, I think this is a very good initiative, and it's but natural that you got such an unprecedented response.
What are the possibilities you see for in the skilling domain?
I was coming to that.
For example, give us one insight, and then I'd possibly get the minister input on that.
Okay, so look, first of all, when I talk about collaboration with the government, let me not just restrict it to skilling. I would want to go the entire mile. You see, we have been already working with quite a few state governments, and our process or our thought process is very simple. 85% of the schools today in the country belong to the government. And in a way, I think the number of children in this country that study in government schools are far, far greater in terms of pure volumes. Somewhere, the three things that keep getting missing with government schools, which I believe, despite all the efforts, one, the enrollments, there seems to be a little bit of a stress in that. Number two, the learning outcomes. And number three, I think there has to be a very proper chain of link between pre-primary students or the early years right up to employment. And that is the chain that we'd like to enter and collaborate with the governments, because what the government has got is infrastructure. What the government has got is, they got the budgets. What government has got is a clear mandate that we need to do something for the children and the citizens of this country. What we can bring in as a private player is execution prowess. We can bring in dashboards and the right kind of tracking methodologies. For example, imagine Singla Saab sitting and actually being able to have a complete look at what's happening in his entire ecosystem purely through a touch of a button to understand whether, because it's a 22 districts, are a lot of districts in Punjab. So that is what we would bring to the table. In a way, what we are attempting to simply do is right from the early years where the child's brain gets developed, 85% gets developed before 6 years. A lot of focus has to go into that area. And then there's the preparatory and the high school, where pedagogical, the entire influence of pedagogy has to be of a very different level. And finally, like you mentioned, Dr. Batra, on the skilling side, as they come out, it's very important that somewhere around the 9th or 10th standard, we have in those aptitude tests brought in to understand which way each child is likely to get, what is the direction that each child has to go to. So there could be some children who are perfectly built in to be going to IITs and IIMs. There are some children who are very, very good in, let's say, going into a direction that can give them a very different kind of a skill set. Now, we would like to help the governments to understand that through artificial intelligence and other technological interventions, and then have the children come out so that when they enter into the world, they'll be able to choose what they want to do, or the life path, as we call it, through interventions from our side. So I think there is a lot of hope that we can. There's a lot of collaboration we can do there. You also mentioned about post-COVID. I want to mention something here. Pre-COVID, I remember mostly the whole ethos of education was around brick and mortar schools, and technology would be a enabler out there. But I certainly believe, and Singla ji too, correct me if I'm wrong, post-COVID, mera ye manna hai ki the e-platform would be the real mechanism of learning, and the brick and mortar schools will become, or the brick and mortar institutions will become the enablers. तो क्या होगा कि especially as the children grow bigger, उनके पास devices होंगे, उनके पास content होंगे, वो they will start learning on their own, and they will use the brick and mortar and teachers to start getting some inputs as to how to navigate their entire learning process. However, the early years, probably we'll start having smaller preschools, neighborhood schools near the houses, so that the initial the socio-emotional learning can be brought in,
Alright.
and then that can this is a kind of a reimagination that I am seeing post-COVID. Singla ji, of course, you would have much more insights into this, but this
सिंगला
is what I feel.
सिंगला साहब, बहुत सारे प्रश्न आ रहे हैं, बहुत सारे लोग पेरेंट्स academicians जो आपसे कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहते हैं, तो I think rather than me asking you questions, I'll take their questions. I think it's much prudent to do that. Prableen Kaur Chhabra पूछ रही हैं, I can't squeeze out 100 marks from my child. He scored 99.5%. Even no appreciation award is given to child, as he is depressed by taking 99.5 marks, as he stood in 6th position. Why grade system is not there so that every child can flourish? So first of all, Mrs. Chhabra, you should be proud of your child. I think the parents can inspire and make the children more happy than anybody else. Congratulations, your child has done very well, but I'll let the minister respond.
I also join in sharing, my good wishes to that child who will be our future in the days to come. And as far as she's talking about the grading system, that we should introduce the grading system. This time, because of the COVID-19 situation, we at the Punjab School Education Board also had to declare results. And as we all know, the class 10 results class 10 exams could not take place. So we have adopted a grading system only. And yesterday only we declared the results, and we try to put in that. And I will take her suggestion. And I think CBSE and other schools have, some boards have already adopted the grading system. And if some board is not following up, or if she is talking about a class which is not a board class, we can even have a discussion on that, and we can take her idea. But I am quite sure that her child is going to be doing very well in the days to come.
Yes, and I echo I was 8th in my convent school. I've done okay. The topper and me both have done okay. I run the private equity fund. I became an entrepreneur. I run 2 media companies. So I don't think you have to worry. Your son, possibly, or a daughter has the habit of hard work. He or she is 6th in the class. I think you should be incredibly proud. And you have a progressive state, you have a progressive government, you have a progressive minister. I'm sure even in the higher education, the child will find opportunities within the state to blossom. Again, Tanveer Singh is asking, IIT Mumbai is giving basic IT courses under the MHRD scheme, spoken tutorials. So is there a plan of Punjab government to take it and make them available in Punjabi?
As far as anything to be converted in Punjabi or to be transmitted in Punjabi, that's not an issue at all. And he or she can always write an email to me on my email ID, vijayindersingla@gmail.com, so that I can answer their specific questions otherwise as well. But what at the Punjab government today we are thinking of is the children should be able to make a right career choice. In the sense, what happens is sometimes when government school children or the children whose parents are not very learned, what happens is that these children do not know what choice to make, and what is the potential of that child, what is what kind of counseling he needs, what is his assessment, and how he can perform, in which field he can perform, so, and which are the areas he can go for. So that will be our focus area in the times to come, to identify the potential of the child at the age when he's into class 8 or 9, and then subsequently guide him a way forward, so that he's able to focus into that area where his potential lies. And subsequently, not only that, how we can give him better skilling so that his education becomes employable. We are able to conceive him at the age when he's into class 8 or 9, and then subsequently we can try and infuse that kind of education in him and give him that kind of skilling, and subsequently make him employable. So till the time we have a comprehensive system in place, due to COVID-19, education way of teaching education, imparting of education may change, but ultimately employability will be a challenge. But how to make that way forward for the children and to determine them what potential they have, that will be the prime focus for us at the government level.
There are some questions, more questions. Dr. Chechi, not Chetti, Dr. Chechi, Dr. Rajiv Chechi is saying, good sir, please start a concept of research park, concept level at the schools, like incubation center, so that the students get practical learning in the school, and such a platform is available to students at schools. So I'm sure the Punjab government is doing something to get real life problems being solved by students.
So that's what I just now concluded in my previous remark also, that we are trying to have some kind of practical education for children so that they have developed some skills to the best abilities of their potential they have, or whichever field the potential they have, and then subsequently take them forward for better employment opportunity, that these skills become employable.
In fact, Dr. Batra, if I may...
Teachers who are logged in. Vinesh, this is a very serious. Somebody called Leah Sayal, she's asking, please talk, Minister Saab, please talk about the future prospects for teachers, as there is a lot of negative feedback from parents. They are confusing education just means of raising school fees. So, teachers in the new normal, what is the role of teacher if technology assimilation goes on? So, give us a sense of how should the teachers prepare for the future of education post-COVID?
Let me tell you that because of the COVID-19, the entire ecosystem got collapsed. So the cycle of education, cycle of exams got collapsed, cycle of admission got collapsed. There was a very cohesive partnership between a teacher, between a management and a child. So they all used to be a one group, and they used to mutually decide upon so many things together. Because of this COVID-19, when I put my email ID in public domain, I also came to know multiple problems of teachers being faced, multiple problems being faced by teachers, like non-payment of salaries. Some school managements are paying quite less to the teachers, because what happens if there is a school in a small town? What happens? It is as per the wishes of the teacher or the management, they decide upon a mutual salary. So some places which are small places, and there are less employment opportunities. So even school managements are paying 2,000 to 3,000 rupees a month also, and that also sometimes they are not being paid for 4 months. So I think that there is a challenge today, keeping COVID-19 situation in mind, how things are going to improve, what will be the study circle, because if it goes for long, I think it will become difficult for even parents to pay up the fees of the private schools. Because if you talk of government schools in Punjab, the education is free. So I think, God forbid, the situation should not come to that level. We all pray to God that we should get rid of this COVID-19 as early as possible, so that the whole situation, the economy slowdown should also come better. But it will be very difficult for me to comment now that what will be the situation of a teacher if this COVID-19 situation persists. For us, all of us today, it would be only, praying God that it should get over. Businesses should run. People should allow their children to study in schools, and so as a parent should the teacher should keep on getting salaries. And at Punjab government, though we are giving free education to children, but we are also paying all the salaries, and all the resources which any government was supposed to have, they're all shut. Whether it was a GST or whether it was a fuel surcharge, or you talk of anything, there's nothing happening. There's no business. There's no industry working. So there is no revenues from the electricity which is coming to the state government. So everywhere in every state is the same situation. And if you ask for funds from the government of India, so we all know what kind of package has come. It is all a package for enhancement of your loans, whether you give more collateral or you don't give more collateral, but you can have better exposure from the banks. And yesterday we had a cabinet in that we were discussing that if a state government is also approaching the banks, as of now the banks are also thinking of giving money, because there is no money with the banks also to give more exposures to
and they're risk averse. And they're also risk averse. Banks
so they're also. So my only point is that this is a situation where we are all trying to live up, and we all pray to God that we should get rid of this situation as early as possible. Otherwise, it may become very imperative on all of us to live in such crisis.
Vinesh, I want lots of questions for the minister. Some are in Punjabi. I'll translate them as much as. So there is Simrat Kaur asking, dear sir, I want to ask one question at present time. हम हमें यही she wants to say यही कहा जाता है कि बच्चों को प्रेशर नहीं करना है स्टडी के लिए, लेकिन जब भी उनके किसी प्रोफेशनल कोर्स के लिए जाते हैं तो पहली बात उनका परसेंटेज पूछा जाता है, उनका किस फील्ड में इंटरेस्ट है उस पर गौर नहीं किया जाता। तो क्या आप नई एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में कुछ ऐसा करेंगे जिससे ऐसी चीजें एड्रेस पाए, हो पाए?
देखो, मैं इस बात को हिंदी और पंजाबी में कह देता हूं कि वैसे भी हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम ओवर द इयर्स बहुत चेंज हो गया है। पहले होता था कि इस लोगों के पास बड़े लिमिटेड अपॉर्चुनिटीज होती थी, आहिस्ता आहिस्ता बहुत सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज बदल गई हैं, बच्चों का माइंड भी बहुत फ्री हो गया है, बहुत बड़ा एक्सपोजर हमारे कंट्री में आ गया है। और मैं तो उनके यही कहना चाहूँगा कि हमें बच्चों के टैलेंट के ऊपर अपना टैलेंट इन्फोर्स नहीं करना चाहिए या अपना माइंडसेट इन्फोर्स नहीं करना चाहिए। ये बच्चों के लाइफ स्किल्स की बात होती है और बच्चे खुद सक्षम होते हैं हर चीज को अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए, और हम हर माँ बाप को ये मालूम होता है कि उसके बच्चे के अंदर किस चीज का पोटेंशियल है। और ये कुछ नहीं है कि अगर बच्चे के 100 में से 100 नंबर आएंगे तो ही बच्चा कामयाब व्यक्ति बन पाएगा समाज के अंदर। जिस बच्चे के अंदर टैलेंट है वो बच्चा कामयाब व्यक्ति बनेगा, वो किस फील्ड में बनना चाहता है उस फील्ड में बनेगा। लेकिन कई बार हम लोगों को लगता है कि हम माँ बाप को, कई बार मैं भी अपने बच्चों के ऊपर कई चीजें फोर्स करने की कोशिश करता हूँ कि क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि उनके लिए अच्छा है, पर लेकिन उनको खुद पता है कि उनका पोटेंशियल किस में लाई करता है और वो किस चीज के अंदर खुद अपने उस पोटेंशियल से आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि ये बात उन तक छोड़ देनी चाहिए और मेरा पूरा विश्वास है कि वो बच्चे उस फील्ड के अंदर कामयाबी से निकलकर बाहर आएंगे।
Vinesh, I've let the minister take more time, but I want to ask you, your schools, your skilling initiative, what is your advice to the parents and to the professionals or students who want to do courses that will make them employable, soft skills? How do they figure out what's their skill that they have and they should make a career? Can you give us, because lots of parents logged in, so can you give us some inputs on that, Vinesh?
Yeah, I think to a large extent they should just follow whatever Honorable Minister had just mentioned. In fact, I very much enjoyed what he mentioned about the fact that when a student reaches 8th and 9th, he should undergo an aptitude test to see which way his interest levels lie. So like I said, I think it's a very simple mechanism of breaking it up into 3 parts. First of all, when the child is in his initial 3 to 5 to 6 years, I think the focus should really be to get the fundamentals in place. And that's when the whole, like we mentioned, the whole learning, the initial learning, the emotional skills, the cognitive skills, these are the most important areas and one should not miss that. Which is why even in government schools, especially the Balwadis and Anganwadis, I think a lot of focus should be given to that area. And we should really start getting the children to move to that space to start with. As the child goes through the learning process, as Singlaji just mentioned, the child has to start getting prepared for what's coming down 10 to 15 or 20 years, which even we don't know. And that is where, some of these initiatives of trying to do an aptitude test, seeing which way the child is going to go, it needs to be very, very imbibed into the education system. And parents, I think, should not really get concerned about whether the child is to become a doctor or an engineer. Those are all traditional old methods that should be kept on the side now. I think today, especially in today's world and the world ahead, information is not going to be a problem. It is not required to absorb, learn, and memorize things because they're available everywhere around you. What is important is how they use that information. How do they articulate that? How are they able to convince people? How the listening skills have to go up, the speaking skills have to go up, the negotiating skills have to go up. These are the areas that need to be probably emphasized upon. How to get a child not to have a stage fright when he or she sits in front of 20 people. These are the areas that probably need to be worked on. And I think that is what the new education system is going to be really focusing on. In fact, the new education policy, which is going to come after 30 years, a lot of the chapters inside that is really touching upon some of these areas. And a lot of emphasis out there is going to be on the 2 T's, which is teacher and technology, to get this done. Of course, Singlaji, this is just my thought. You could definitely add more, or if you have any other points to make on this.
Simrat Kaur is saying, thank you, sir, for taking my question, and the minister answered it beautifully. But अभी भी बच्चे की डिग्री देखी जाती है, ना और उसके मार्क्स ना उसका हुनर नहीं देखा जाता. But I think over a period of time it is changing, Mrs. Kaur, and at some stage you will see a more balance between talent and marks. I want to bring the audience at this point, Singla sir. We have 42 questions, we can't take all. We have another 30 questions, 72. And I want to say to viewers and people locked in from Punjab, the minister has already said that from tomorrow, over the next 10 days, they will do 100 each winners, so that in 10 days he can have 1,000 winners. So wait till tomorrow. From today evening, he said they'll start announcing the first set of winners. मिनिस्टर साहब ने पहले कहा है कि रोज हम 100 विनर्स अनाउंस करेंगे. आज शाम से शुरू होंगे 100 विनर्स, और पहले हमने सोचा था कि 66 करेंगे, बट अब 1000 करेंगे, सो दैट इतना अच्छा क्वालिटी आया है और इतना नंबर आया है, वी कैन डू जस्टिस टू द टैलेंट. एट दिस पॉइंट आई वांट टू ब्रिंग on video Mr. Krishan Khanna, who wants to ask a question. Krishan Khanna is an author of a book on economy, on skilling, on education, and he wants to ask Mr. Singla a question on skilling. Can we have Mr. Krishan Khanna on the screen? Khanna Saab?
Haji.
Please go ahead and ask Mr. Singla your question.
Can you hear me?
Very much.
I can hear you.
Very much.
Singla Saab, I thank you for this wonderful session which we have had. I'll just give you a 1 minute background. We run a think tank and a foundation, 28 years old now. And we advise the central government pro bono on policy changes. Our concentration is on education and skill building. In fact, in 2014, after 11 years of running around, we were able to convince, didn't take much convincing, but Modi ji brought in the Ministry of Skills Development in 2014 November. Now the question is this, that since I have worked in Germany and Japan for 7 years, and my background is having spent a very important part of my life in those countries, I realized that they have a lot of skill centers. You know, Germany has 1 lakh skill centers, Japan has 1.5 lakh, China has 5 lakh. In fact, I was in the planning commission and we set up the task force for NSDC, NSDA, but nothing happened during UPA.
So, Khanna, what is your question? How do we increase skilling? Is that your question?
Sir, my question is this, that if we need to increase the number of skill centers, we have 60,000 colleges in India and about 3 lakh higher secondary schools. At least all of them should have 1 skill center. Straight away, we will go from 15,000 skill centers to 5 lakh skill centers. This is my request to you to look at this. I mean, in your state, you can look at the colleges there, you can look at the higher secondary schools, because as Vinesh has very clearly mentioned, at the age of 14, when you're in that state, you have to decide whether you should go for college education or you should go for skills. And actually, in our country, 80% of the youth should go for skills. You can't get a skilled person. You get people with degrees, which is no use, sir.
You are 100% correct, Mr. Khanna, on that, in which you said that you can find people with lots and lots of degrees. And now, though, you will find that all the professional colleges which were opened in small towns and which had no credibility, they have started closing down, because that degree which they used to impart had no value on ground in terms of employability. So what you said is 100% correct. And I must tell you that to begin with, if you look at from all the schools perspective or a college perspectives, it is the better would be to start with the ITIs. What happens is there are ITIs which are already set up across the country in every state. And these ITIs are these institutions where children, after doing class 12, want to go for a course. And if there is a skill center being run by the industry, which is in dominance there in that particular state, I think that will give us an opportunity immediately, because there is a practical course attached to the ITI as well. And subsequently, we can think of having skill centers under various schemes, maybe cluster of villages to begin with the ITIs, so that we are able to make an impact on the larger population of a state or of a country. So, and there is a lot of gap, as you also rightly said. There is whatever the industry demands and what kind of skills are available in the market. So in order to compensate that, and that's why I said that these ITIs which are there across the state of Punjab or across the other states, first we need to focus on that, because the children who are going to the ITIs, They are those children who are, trying to acquire some skills and then take some practical knowledge and subsequently get employment.
Sir, आप ठीक कह रहे हैं. I agree with you, but there is a one very big problem there. ITI is concentrated only on manufacturing. The service sector is 3 times bigger than manufacturing. Because in 2004, during Atalji's time, we were able to bring in what is known as the Ministry of MSME. Previously, it used to be called Ministry of SSI, Small Scale Industry. Services were never considered, but in 2004-5, Atalji understood the whole thing and the bill was passed finally in the parliament and the ministry changed to MSME. MSME means all business enterprises. Now, the service sector is completely neglected in India, sir.
I think as we go along, you'll see the service sector getting rightly represented. We'll leave your question to Vinesh, your response to Mr. Khanna on skilling.
I think that there is no doubt that we need to do much more in that area. In fact, one of the points which I would like to talk from Punjab's point of view, even if you look at the recent migration of the migrants who are moving up and down, I think a lot of people have left Punjab more than the ones who are coming into Punjab. So I think the real test is to try and see how to take care of the local state people and to prevent them from going away from the state and to try and see what they can do in that state. And that is where I keep emphasizing, apart from what Singlaji just mentioned, I want to emphasize on the whole concept of skilling inside schools. And that is what has started to happen now. The current curriculum inside schools has provisions for skilling also, right from 6th standard. It was earlier 9th standard, it has now come down to 6th standard. And in that, the skilling is across mind related skilling programs, it's across hand related skilling programs. And I think we should be correcting these areas as we go forward. And finally, I don't think it's important or it's not required to only have ITIs or physical infrastructures. Like it was mentioned some time back, I think we're slowly moving to an area or an era where even the digital platforms are going to get far more enhanced to try and bring these skilling learning to the youth and to the children.
Thank you, Vinay. Lots of comments. Vinay Kumar is saying Punjab government has started Mashal portal for career guidance. Mashal, go to this portal by the Punjab government. It is for career guidance. It is very effective and free. That Geeta Katpalia, who's the Director General of ARNET, is saying to the Minister, ARNET is the autonomous society of the Ministry of Electronics and IT. We work in 3,200 schools for smart virtual classroom. If Punjab is interested, ARNET can work for school education using technology.
Please, you can share all these with me.
Singla Sahab, I just want to mention one thing, Anurag, if I give me 10 seconds.
Yes.
We have in India 650 Krishi Vigyan Kendras. This is for training farmers in agriculture. 650 centers, 731 districts. China has 350,000 centers in rural China. What a Chinese farmer produces in 1 acre, our farmer requires 3 acres. I can send a lot of details to Anurag and he can pass it on to you.
Sure, I will. We'll take the last question and we'll close. I know it's good to get 90 odd questions. That shows that the minister got the topic and the minister got everybody to be interactive and, he made some real comments. That's all how you get questions. But we'll take the last question. It's come from Pratima Daipuria. Chetan, can we have Pratima Daipuria on screen or audio and let the question be asked to Mr. Menon and to Shri Vijay Inder Singlaji. Everybody is talking, there are some comments, Minister Saab, I'm sure your office will share all comments with your team, with the Secretary Education of Punjab and your team. But there's one comment that got my attention. It says, when are you doing the competition for college and university students? Vinesh and, it's been appreciated so much. Rajdeep Hans is asking, when are you doing such competition for college and university students?
We'll have to tell him to Mr. Hans that let me first finish this Ambassadors of Hope competition in next 1 month's time, and then maybe I may think of a plan for them as well.
Simrat Kaur is another follow-up content. If I talk about the teaching profession, there are so many teachers that are B.Ed but they have no skills for teaching. They're only taking salary on behalf of B.Ed. But there are many others who do not have a B.Ed degree, but they have too much to offer and skills. So how do you create the balance?
So we have already, advertised many positions for such youngsters of Punjab, and we are already, about to recruit around 5,000 teachers in the days to come, and we will be advertising another 5,000 set of teachers in the within next 1 year, and everything will happen on merit. That's my promise, so that the skills of these youngsters who want to, impart education to the future of our country is not compromised.
Thank you, Mr. Singla. We'll take the last question and then get you to do closing comments. We have Pratima Daipuria. Go ahead, Pratima, ask a question to Shri Vijayendra Singla and to Mr. Vinesh Menon.
Hi, I must congratulate both of you for such a wonderful session. And Dr. Anurag, I have been constantly listening to such sessions. Compliments and congratulations to you as well. Vishesh, I have one.
I don't know her. It's the first time I've seen her interact. So it's not a plug, okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, media companies don't make enough money to pay people to do these plugs. We don't make that much money anymore.
Yeah, I work in the education space as well. Vinesh, I have one specific question. Are we looking at some new skills post-COVID that should be included in the curriculum? And Vijayji, if we have to look at a lot of changes, are we reskilling or looking at new skills to be included in our curriculum too? Because what worked yesteryears will not work now. So we have to do something.
So that is what I told earlier also, that we first need to identify the potential of the child, and once we determine the kind of potential he has, and then only you can guide him the way forward in that direction, and then only this skilling aspect comes into force. So obviously, when you today's children, they have a different mindset altogether. They do not think on older times or the kind of skilling which was available earlier. Nobody wants to go into those kind of skilling. That's why if you see, the number of children going for ITIs is decreasing, because the kind of courses which the children want to do, some states are not even equipped with such courses. Today, anybody who wants to have a skill would like to have rather run a mobile repair shop, because the skill he would have acquired to repair a mobile will fetch him more value as compared to the skill he was doing earlier, maybe by way of a carpenter or maybe by way of a plumber. So I think the new set of skilling is as per the situation, or as per the surrounding environment, or as per the requirement of children, needs to be developed, and we are all focusing on that. But the fulcrum point would be, first we need to determine the potential and the mindset of these youngsters to guide them the way forward towards that direction.
Right.
And ma'am, to add to what Singlaji just mentioned, today we are talking about skills like Internet of Things. We're talking about cyber security, artificial intelligence. In fact, I've read a few in some of the magazines. I've read how people are even getting skilled as to how to conduct online platforms. That itself is a skill, right? So I think the entire world is changing, and clearly we will see all these getting into the curriculum. Because today a 5-year-old child is able to adapt to technology far better than what we are. So imagine, even for agriculture, and the earlier person who asked a question talked about how probably there's a low cultivation per hectare in India versus the other countries. Imagine drone technology coming into that. Imagine using artificial intelligence to understand how crops can be harvested in the right way at the right time. So all this will eventually go down as early learning methodology into the classroom, and the child coming out who ends up becoming a farmer will be very different from the kind of farmer that you see today, and that's how the whole system is going to evolve and change.
Thank you, Vinesh. Dr. Singla. I would like to close by, there are people, Geeta Katpalia of ARNET is saying Ministry of Electronics has just launched a national portal for artificial intelligence, for creating artificial intelligence skills for youth 30 minutes back. Rajdeep Hans, without the minister responding, I'll respond to it. Rajdeep Hans is saying to the minister, sir, won't it be unfair for people if we, without watching all the 1 lakh videos given? The minister said that his team has watched, he and his team has watched 80,000 already. So, and this is the first 100. There are 900 more to be given out of the 80,000 plus the 20,000 odd that he still needs to watch. So the minister is actually supporting what you're saying and doing what you want him to do, even without knowing your question.
So I would recommend the gentleman to also follow Singlaji's Twitter handle, And you will notice that he has been every single video that has got uploaded on Twitter, he is not missed giving a comment on it.
Yes,
And
I've
that
followed
is
him for the
commendable.
last since today morning, so I know he's very active. So I have Mr. Singla, I'll ask you the last question, and I'll ask Mr. Menon the last question, and we'll close it. We're already ahead of time. In the new education policy that may come out from the Punjab government, specifically for the state of Punjab, what could be the 2-3 new things that we would see which would factor the current scenario?
The biggest challenge for all states, including Punjab, is imparting online education to each and every child of the state. So we are getting ourselves equipped with that, and because we want that education should reach out to each and every person of the state. Second focus, as I just now told you, determining the potential of the children, assessment, as I just now said, so that once we know that what the child is what kind of potential the child has, so assessment could be done and he could be guided in that direction so that he acquired such skilling and there is some kind of employability. So if you look at from the second thing, and third thing, I must tell you that we will be focusing on creating an environment where, as we all know, Tagore ji had said that the mind is without fear and the head is held high. So I think if we all focus on these 2-3 things, which are the fulcrum point, I think we'll be able to achieve our responsibilities which are there on our shoulders together.
We wish you luck, Shri Vijayendra Singla ji, in your progressive approach, in the proactive approach, in making a difference in society and conducting your responsibilities with full transparency and a sense of urgency. Mr. Vinesh Menon, your closing comments on where the public-private partnership with the governments and with the departments of education in state governments could lead to a new paradigm in education and skilling.
So I think it is very encouraging to even hear Honorable Minister talk about the direction in which public-private partnerships are going to be set, and like we all discussed some time back, the new policy that's going to come out is really going to be a combination of technology being integrated into pedagogy, and how learning-based outcomes is going to be more focused in schools and in other education institutions. And because of the sheer size of this country, and we're talking about 1.5 million schools, we're talking about more than 300 million students, I think it is absolutely imperative that in order to really go down to every cluster, the last mile village, and to provide education and skilling, I think a partnership between the government and a private player would be very, very critical. Like I mentioned earlier, the government has got all the wherewithal, the infrastructure, and the required needs to have it brought into the system. The private player would simply bring in the execution prowess and would also track what needs to be done, so that eventually the end objective that has been set by the government at the levels of the Chief Minister's office would eventually need to get imbibed into the ground. So that is the simple formula. Eventually, I would like to see an education minister like Singlaji sitting and realizing that in his 20th district, in this particular taluka, in this village, this child has not got the required learning versus this child has got the required learning. How can he sit in an office and do that? I think a private player will be able to empower him with that platform.
Thank you so much. We are completely out of time. I would like to thank Shri Vijayendra Singla ji, the Honorable Minister for Education and PWD, Government of Punjab, for taking out time and talking to all of us and being himself an ambassador of hope. Thank you, Mr. Vinesh Menon, for being an ambassador of hope. I hope and pray that you continue to be ambassadors of hope and create hope, livelihood, and education for millions of people. Thank you so much. God bless you. Sat Sri Akal. Ram Ram.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Singlaji, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.